Trabajo means I work in Spanish. That being said, Project Trabajo, to me, is all about, well, working. I really want to land a full-time position and/or gain experience with maybe volunteer work at your agency. But what I really am looking for is a junior web design, junior graphic design, and/or maybe a planning position. Something that is in the creative field, for sure. I'm very passionate about advertising. I graduated at the University of Texas at Arlington in December 2012. My minor was in business, and my undergraduate was in advertising. I learned a lot in college. The main thing I learned was time management. My senior year of school, we worked with Chevrolet, and I was head of the strategy department. I really like to see how the puzzle came together, how all the little pieces from the research team and from the creative team and PR and strategy, how it all came together and it all worked at the end for a successful campaign. That being said, though, if you don't have any of the positions that I have mentioned, I would love to talk to you in person about other opportunities that you may have. One of my favorite all-time advertising campaigns is Project Rebrief by Google, based off of Hilltop, which is art director Harvey Gabor's campaign in 1971. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but it's Gabor. But his campaign in 1971 was to buy the world a Coke. Project Rebrief was to bring his campaign of 1971 into the digital age. So they came up with the idea to use maybe your smartphone, digital device, your computer, to literally buy someone a Coca-Cola across the world. Not only could you buy someone a drink in, say, I don't know, Australia, but you could also record a personal message to them. So this campaign literally broke through language barriers to share generosity and, of course, a Coca-Cola. So this is definitely my all-time favorite. If you want to learn more about it, check out, I think you could probably just Google Project Rebrief by Google, and it's a documentary. I think it's an hour or two, but it's really interesting. So when it comes to reading books, I'm gonna confess I'm pretty ADD. I start reading one book, and then I get to probably maybe like chapter 5, and then I start getting really excited about the next book that I'm gonna read. So before you know it, I have like 3 books that I'm reading all at the same time. So right now I'm actually reading 4 books, and those are Truth, Lies, and Advertising by John Steele. It's a book I was supposed to read in college for extra credit, but I didn't have the time to do the extra credit, so I'm actually catching up and reading on it now. It's about the life of an account planner and breaks down the success of several advertising campaigns along the way. It's really interesting, and it definitely keeps my attention. So that's one of them. Another one is Trust Me, I'm Lying, Confessions of a Media Manipulator by Ryan Holiday. It's a very interesting book about how you can manipulate the media through blogs, and how there's an inverted way to achieve news that maybe like through get your campaign to like Fox News or all the major media outlets through starting a blog. So basically you're starting at the bottom and inverting. Instead of starting at the top working your way down, you're starting at the bottom and working your way up. And he kind of talks about how you can do that and how you can manipulate the media basically, and talks about how he has done that in the past and how he was successful doing that. It's a very interesting book. It talks about the consequences of doing that as well. but it's very interesting. Another one that I'm reading, of course, is called Logo Design Love, A Guide to Creating Iconic Brand Identities. It pretty much sums it up right there. It's all about design and designing logos. That book's interesting as well. It's more cut and dry, but it's definitely interesting. It has some great stuff in it. And then one that I actually just got the other day from Amazon, and I haven't started reading it yet, but I probably will within the next week. So yeah, that'll be 4 books. Is Above the Fold by Brian Miller. I'm super excited about it, but it's about understanding the building blocks of successful website design. So those are the books that I'm kind of reading right now. Most of them are informational. I don't feel like I should read unless I'm learning right now in my life. I'm in my 20s, so I really want to read, and maybe one day I'll be able to read non-fiction or fiction books or something, but right now it's mainly informational. Ever since I was a little kid, I was creating. Whether this be drawing, painting, mosaics, that turned into building frames for paintings, and that turned into furniture, building furniture. Ever since I can remember, I was creating. I loved seeing something that I put blood and sweat equity into turn into some awesome piece of furniture, some awesome painting. There's some kind of a sense of accomplishment that goes along with that. That being said, that's why I'm interested in design, whether it be website design or creating a logo or creating a business card. There's some weird sense of accomplishment that I get whenever I create it, and then I look at it and the client is happy with it. I really enjoy that, and I mean, I'll pretty much, that's just formed into my identity. I'll always be creating something. I'm not quite sure what my 5-year goal is. I do have goals though. Some of my goals are, I would love to own my own agency one day, and maybe even this may be an and or situation, or maybe even both, I don't know. I think it would be really cool to own my own portfolio school. I was actually looking into going into portfolio school, but instead I actually self-taught a lot of my website design and graphic design, all that stuff through lynda.com. I taught myself a lot of that, so I did that instead of maybe going to portfolio school on top of going to University of Texas at Arlington. It would have been sort of costly. So I haven't quite decided which one of those, but that's more like a 10-15 year goal. 5-year goal, I could probably see myself, I would be happy just being a success for an agency or a company, being successful for them and being an asset to their agency, and having an overall good rapport with all the other employees and clients, and just being taking joy in my work. So that's kind of my 5-year goal, I would say. But yeah, I do eventually one day want to maybe a portfolio school or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool.